Good evening and welcome to the NXTGEN Virtual Focus Cup. This is in NXTGEN's 19th season, and hopefully you've brought your umbrellas because we are at a very wet, red, boring GP. It is raining, and all the guys are limited to wet tyres. So, no advantage to be had for anyone. See here, currently the top man in practice. Now, second, Green P. Third, down for the count. Fourth in practice. Remember, this is just practice alone. We're about to get underway. Good evening, P Gib and D Whitehouse. No Gibbo for Paul. They're saying that Gibbo does actually have the fastest time. He's just in the pits, which is why he isn't showing at the top. So we're about to get qualifying underway. Herocram not confident. We found out that he was human last night in the McGanns. He didn't get on the podium. So the 10-minute qualifying is underway for tonight's race. As Herocram immediately goes out on track, trying to find some form of grip. There is down for the count 23 in one of the Swan Flight cars. Next we have T Whitehouse, then Philo, Logan Greenway, Green P, P Gib, Bifta and Snav, who is sat in the pits at the moment. He probably just giving himself some space to all the guys. Now we're looking at about a 2-minute lap time around here in the wet. Waze has joined the qualifying just in time. We've got D Whitehouse down to Schlossgold for turn 4, and it's fair to say there's going to be a lot of sloshing of water today. No, Waze was allowed back in. There was a mutual agreement, so Waze is able to race, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, Waze on thin ice, I believe, after last week. But we're going to come around. We've only just finished the first set of outlaps. That's how slow it is there in the wet. See the wipers going there. Where's P Gib at? P Gib, let's go on board with you, Mr. Gib. So here we go. A lap of red boring in the wet. We're coming up towards Lauda. See. Named after the late Nicky Lauda, fantastic F1 driver. You just see P Gib almost coasting through the right-hander, trying to get the car to find a bit of grip to turn in and get the throttle down. Up through here, you've got obviously turn 2, which isn't much of a corner, just a flat left-hander, even in the wet. And then you're going to see Piquet bring it all the way to the left-hand side and hit the brakes where he's hit them. He's going to hit them just before the 100 board for Ramus. He's gone a bit wide going into Ramus there, but maybe looking for a slightly more square exit to try and lay the power down. Over the top of the circuit, down towards Schlossgold for turn 4. Very hard. This is a downhill braking. 125 by the looks of that meters for braking for P. Gibb. Sliding it into turn 4 before bringing the power on. They're going through turn 5, just again a flat right-hander. Someone's gone miles off the circuit. I don't know who that is. That's the Paramax car of D. Whitehouse. Through Rauk of turn 6, again long left-hander, long wait for the power, then into Worth. Again just off the throttle, not touching anything, just letting the car coast in and bringing the throttle on as you go through turn 8, down towards Rind, so-called after Jochen Rind. You're up over the crest again, downhill braking, so you're going to have to brake a bit earlier than you think. About 75 that for P. Gibb. Run it over the curb, bring it out to the left-hand side, then into the Red Bull Mobile. Again, nice and easy, making sure the car doesn't understeer like it did for Logan Greenway there. And then across the line, what do? We do a 2 minutes, 0.3. So not a bad time, but he is nearly a second off Hirokram. Hirokram's found some pace of a 59.4. Guys are only going to get about 3-4 laps worth of timed runs. And time start coming through. There is Snav. He's obviously still on his first lap. He'd done a 3:15.4 on his first on his out lap. Wipers going strong. He's in the Powerflex car. He's just coming down to Schlossgold on his first attempt. So that, yeah, that is Hirokram just ahead of him on the circuit. Meanwhile, the ABS car of Snav comes around the final corner. What can he do first time of asking? The answer is a 2 minutes 1.0. So a good time from Snav. 1.6 off Hirokram, which in these conditions, not too shabby. Speaking of said alien, Hirokram coming through turn 8, down towards Rind. Gets the brakes, gets it turning in the Joyce Design car. He's had a lot of success with the Joyce Design team in the Megans, looking to replicate it in the Focus League, using just a touch of curb. Can't go quicker though. Waves is coming through. That looks, I want to say, not down for the count, but one of the Swan Flight cars, I think. Waves gets a slow down at the end of his lap. It puts in a 2:10.4, so just ahead of D. Whitehouse. He's coming across the line now. What can he do? He puts in a 2:02.6, putting him into 7th place. Filo's had a good time, a 2 minutes 0.7. Down for the count, a 2 minutes 0.8. And then obviously now with his 2:01.0, but he's on his own and almost out of sync with the rest of the pack. He's back in the pits. There's P. Gibb coming up towards Ramus. To say that is, yes, Nav coming round to the final couple of corners. 7 minutes 20 gone, just 2 minutes 40 remain in the session. Obviously, plus if you're on a hot lap, you can finish that lap when the time expires. So now up to the line. What can he do this time around? And he does go quicker, 2 minutes 0.9, but not quite quick enough to move him up the order. Hirokram will be next through. There's obviously down for the count. Green Pea just in 6th. He's not too far away. Down for the count. Didn't enjoy... I don't think he really enjoyed Suzuka too much. He had a good run though in his debut. There's Philo in the Rob Sims car. He does have Down for the count just ahead of him. Into the final corner. I'm not expecting... I don't know whether GT Sport actually has this sort of thing, but whether the times start getting slow because of how wet it gets on circuit. Let's have a look. No, it probably doesn't, because Philo's just gone even quicker with a 2 minutes .3, so he's only .026 behind P. Gibb, who's just coming through the final corner now. Remember, he's nearly a second off Hirokram, but as he says in the chat, it's more about who doesn't bin the car. It's been a bad lap that for P. Gibb, a 2:12.4, just a minute 10 remaining in the session, so people having to get through their laps as quickly as possible. Here comes Bifta 76 in the 2020 liveried Swan Flight car. Cross line doesn't go any quicker. Logan Greenway down in 9th. He's gonna slow down, so that's gonna affect his time at the end, and it does, a 2:07.7. There is Waze. There is Snav. He's just coming around the final couple of corners. Should get one more in. I think Waze will get one more in as well. Snav comes up to the line. Does go slightly quicker, but again, not quite enough to move him up the places, but only just 0.019 away. Waze goes across the line. It will be his final lap. Hirokram isn't going to beat the count. So there we go. Qualifying is over. This is people's last laps. Hirokram up to the line. Can he go? He has gone a bit quicker in recent. A 59.3. Puts in another 59.3, but not good enough to improve on that time. Philo up to the line. What can he produce? Can he get into the 59s? The answer is no. He does go quicker into second place with a 2 minutes .2. Cross goes down for the count. P1 Green P currently 7th. Can he go any quicker? That is yes. He goes 4th. D Whitehouse doesn't improve. P. Gibb, he puts it back into second place with a 59.7. Fantastic time by him. Bifta 76 coming up to the line now for his final lap. He's gone wide. That might incur the penalty. He'll be unlucky to. He does cross the line and go quicker, but not enough to be able to go up the order. Logan Greenway possibly trying to find some form of traction. Snav down to 6th at the moment. He's only 1.5 away from Hirokram as he enters the final couple of corners in the ABS car. As he fights the car to make it turn in. Pretty good exit from the Red Bull Mobile corner. He gets a penalty, unfortunately, so it's going to leave him in 6th. Here comes Waze. Puts in a 2:013. That puts him in 8th place. So Logan Greenway comes across the line for 10th. So it's Hirokram who takes pole position. We're going to get underway here. Hirokram has taken pole position. Five seconds to the race start. Good stuff from Hirokram, but also good stuff from P. Gibb, who puts himself right in the mix there. Only 0.3, or just over 0.3 off of Hirokram, so it's good signs. Who's going to get the best launch though in this wet weather conditions? So, the lights start to come on. We have all the lights. We are green at the wet Red Bull Ring, and it's a sluggish start for everyone trying to find and scrabble for grip as we head up towards the first corner of Lauda for the first time of what is probably going to be about a 9 or 10 lap race. And P. Gibbs got the best start. Hirokram under pressure from Philo through Lauda. He just about holds on with that outside line. Move off at the back, Green P in 4th, D. Whitehouse 5th, Snav into 6th, down for the count. In 7th, Bifta 8th, Logan Greenway 9th, Ways down to 10th. But we have a clean getaway in tough conditions up towards Ramus. P. Gibb already on the defensive. So they all slow into the corner. I think that could cost him traction on the way out though, clipping the inside curb. Here comes Hirokram. I think P. Gibb's going to have just enough to shut the door. I say that, but Hirokram has had the door left wide open. I thought P. Gibb might go across to cover him down towards turn 4. Hirokram backs out of that move anyway. Meanwhile, D. Whitehouse down the inside of Philo for 3rd. Gets the move done, but Philo looking for a switch back. Can't quite do it. And down for the count into 5th ahead of Green P. Snav also having a bit of a fight with them. Snav just behind down for the count. Oh, he's gone down the inside. That is out. Route for turn 6. Bit of handbrake in that. I sense. Good clean. That's a hard overtake in place, but he's made it work. That's a fantastic effort. To replay marker that because that was a good effort from Snap. But P. Gibb leading the way. Philo with D. Whitehouse all over his bumper. Meanwhile, let's go back on board with Snav. So into... Yeah, as I suspect, a bit of handbrake to make the back end move. Because he's having a bit of understeer with Snav, but a good move into that turn 6. Meanwhile, down for the count under pressure from Green P coming into Laudan. Is almost 3 wide. Bit of contact into the corner, and Logan Greenway out of nowhere comes up into 6th place. These guys fighting tooth and nail. Here comes Green P back up the inside. Logan Greenway drops to 7th. Ways now having a look on the Dorenza driver. Whilst he's also got down for the count, who's had an awful first corner. He had a bit of contact into turn 1, which pushed him onto the curb, which is obviously very, very slippy. Meanwhile, D. Whitehouse will replay marker this because it looks like D. Whitehouse got past here now Philo into turn 3. So D. Whitehouse up to turn 3. It looks like he's just gone round the outside. He's looked to the inside. Oh, and Philo actually getting rid of a bit of a penalty there. Drops it, looks for the switch back on the exit, but can't find the grip. So D. Whitehouse up into the podium spot, but he's still under pressure, as is P. Gibb at the front from Hirokram. Philo down the inside, bit of door up. Leaning on D. Whitehouse through turn 6 into Worth at 7. But Philo in the Rob Sims car back into the podium position, but this race not done by a long shot. Green P still leading the way against Ways, who's got ahead of the Dorenza driver. That is Logan Greenway. A bit of contact between Greenway and down for the count. Let's have a look at that. Coming into turn 7, looks like a good run from down for the count. He's gone down the inside, possibly gone a bit too tight. Oh, and Greenway's just gone a little bit wide, slight bit of contact. Greenway down to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, P. Gibb still leading the way of this race. He's doing a fantastic job. That is wide from Philo, and that will lose him that spot to D. Whitehouse because he wouldn't have had a good run on the paint surface on the outside of the corner. Here comes D. Whitehouse in the Paramax car. Should be a pretty easy overtake up into turn 3. But as we've seen, the traction on the inside of the corner not as nice as the traction on the outside sometimes. D. Whitehouse getting the move done, and that gives him the podium position back, and all the time these guys are fighting, they're going to be losing out to Pigib and Herocram. Herocram actually has lost a touch of time. I'm intrigued to know where he's lost this. He's got on the curb, that's where he's lost it. Got on the curb, that makes the wheels spin, and if you're spinning the wheels, you're not going forward, and if you're not going forward, you're not making any time. Snav having a bit of a lonely race. There is Waze, who's got past Green P. I wonder if we can get that. It says no, we can't. But Green P, 7th at the moment with Bifta behind. Logan Greenway has got back ahead of down for the count. Although I say that, he's gone really deep into turn 7. I mean turn 6 even. And down for the count won't turn down an open door. Back to the front, on board with Pigib. We're looking behind. Looks like a better line that from Herocram into the penultimate corner. Trying to use as much of the curb as possible. Pigib using all the rev range there. But Herocram a 59.8, fastest lap so far. Can't make the move. That is your view from D Whitehouse back to TNR Philo. As D Whitehouse goes very wide, you see that lots of wheel spin on the painted stuff. He'll pick up a penalty for that, for going that wide. As we say that, Herocram has a run on Pigib up towards turn 3. He's going to look to go around the outside. He has got his stop, but Pigib with that shorter route just about maintains that position for now. This is going to be an epic battle. We're only 7 minutes in, not even halfway. And the two leaders having a cracking battle as they head into Schlossgold. Snav still on his own, got 4-second gap to Waze. Again, in turn having a slightly lonely race as Green Pete 2 seconds behind him, 1 second to Bifta, a further 2 seconds to down with the count, and 3.2 takes you back to the back of the pack. So the fight really is at the front right now, and for 3rd and 4th. Bit wide from Pigib, he's going to lose traction there. Lose a bit of traction, possibly pick up a penalty as well for going, yes, yeah, there is, oh, that's harsh, a 2nd penalty. But penalties easy to try and get rid of around here at Red Bull Ring, but you can see he's had a poor exit from turn 7, and Herocram able just to drive by. Meanwhile, Philo down the inside of turn 6 into 7 gets the move done on D Whitehouse. Good stuff there, but can Pigib get back at Herocram? We know Pigib's got the pace. Let's see just how brave he is though in these conditions. Trying to make a move on Herocram is not going to be easy, but I'd say he should have a slightly better run than Herocram. Yes, he does. On the bumper view, and here comes Pigib. He's going to look to the outside. They hit the brakes. Pigib earlier on the brakes, gets rid of his penalty, will look to get a better exit, can't quite do it there. But I tell you what, this race is not over by a long shot between these two. Pigib has a score to settle after Suzuka, where he made those 2 mistakes when he was right on the back of Pigib. Oh, of Herocram, sorry. Down into Schlossgold for turn 4. And Pigib just not able to open the door just yet. Philo has managed to gap D Whitehouse, who's got a gap back to Snav. Looked like a big snide that from Waze. Oh, and we've got trouble. Bifta in the gravel. And Logan Greenway also having issues there. So let's have a look. This is Bifta 76. Down in 8th place. He's lost that place to down for the count. Oh, he's hit the brakes on the curbing. Pulled the bar in a form of desperation gets into the gravel then. Bit of a shame. Back at the front though, and Pete Gibb, not one to be dropped right now. He is just under half a second. Hero setting a fastest lap of the race. That time around a 59.5. So he head through Lauda. Pete Gibb looking for any small door. Even if it's a 3/4 size focus door, he wants that door open, and he'll want it now. 9.5 minutes to go. Into Ramus. Or is Pete Gibb maybe just having a bit of a study? He's quick through Ramus. If he can get the power down out of the corner. Into Schlossgold. Oh, Pete Gibb. He's trying a bit of a risk running on the curb. No on the entry, but so he's sticking with. On board with NXTGEN Herocram. He has not had a break or race. Pete Gibb right up his chuff. Through 6, down to Worth for 7. Different lines used by Waze and Herocram, and you can see the difference. Pete Gibb maybe wanting to learn that line from Herocram now, because he'll need to keep all of the speed he can get. Herocram can't afford to drop about more than a second behind here. Even though 1.5 is normally a magic number with these cars, in the wet conditions it's not as powerful. Because you don't get the same sort of grip level out of the corner. And Pete Gibb now edging that second gap. It's now still in a bit of a lonely race there. We'll look back through the pack. We've got Green P, who's having a bit of a battle with Waze right now for 6th place. They're entering turn 1. Green P just runs a bit wide, as does Waze. These tougher conditions really testing out the drivers. Meanwhile, I think Pete Gibb is somewhat nearer the back of Herocram, 0.8 of a second. Herocram, no stranger to pressure. But one mistake, and this increases that pressure load. One mistake in the wet is massively exaggerated in these conditions. The time loss you have is much greater because you don't have the grip to pull yourself out of it all the time. So you're starting to see Herocram maybe not push as hard, just to keep the car in some form of control. He is, as I say that, he's at a purple second sector. He's currently going faster and faster, which is somewhat concerning for Pete Gibb, because it doesn't actually look all that chaotic in terms of Herocram. It doesn't look like he's really pushing that car to its absolute limit. Oh, Pete Gibb a little bit wide. That's going to cost him a hell of a lot of time. And as I say, every mistake is exaggerated in these conditions. That's about half a second he's lost just in that one corner from going wide. And a fastest lap from Herocram starts to regain the dominance this driver has had all season long. Meanwhile, Green P has Waze right up his chuff. Down towards Lauda for the 8th time for these drivers. Green P safe for now into turn 1. This 2.6 mile circuit. Down towards turn 2 and Ramus. This one flight car See, one of the generations of Swan Flight car in this race. We've got the 2018, 2019, 2020 liveries running. Waze looks to the inside, thinks better of it. Waze did have a penalty to shed as you saw his car ghost. P. Gibb has reeled back in here, to 0.8 of a second. He does have a penalty to show. Well, I say that, he goes up to 1 second out as we go through turn 5 up towards Rauk for turn 6. And the Team Dynamics driver now starting to hope that Herocram makes a vital mistake. So the fight for third. 2.1 seconds at the moment between the drivers. That's been coming down lately. So we're interested to see how that one fares. Green Pete still ahead of Waze. Waze running a little bit wider through 6 before 7. Just loses him that little bit of time. One second up is the gap at the front, and that's going to be more because of that mistake from P. Gibb. The rear wheel just on the grass. You can see it losing him a bit of stability. The Dynamics driver needs to think of something, and quick. See the car struggling through turn 1. TY House still 2 seconds behind Philo. Still has Waze behind him. P1 Green P. He has a 0.3 of a second penalty. But he's running well at the moment. He hits the brakes. That's a lot of curb he's taken, but it works. Oh, he's not quite got the power down. Waze looking to capitalise, but instead Waze gets onto the curb, and that loses any momentum he had on the way out. So unfortunately, no bueno for Waze there. And this is pretty much your closest fight on circuit right now between these two. Just half a second between them. The Swan Flight car, the Powerflex car. Both teams looking for a good result. Green P just in his second race of the Focus League. Here comes Wade. He's lost the back end though. He's gone board with Waze. So he's come out of Josh Gold into 5. I want to know why he's hit, because he was very sideways. He's hit the brakes, gone the curbing, and it's just sent the rear end out a little bit. He's had to stop that from just absolutely slamming into Green P's car. Well controlled by the Powerflex driver though. He kept it out of the wars. Drivers going on to what is most likely their final laps of the race. Yeah, 17 seconds in. Yeah, it's the last lap of the race then for Herocram. He's built up a 2.1 second lead to P. Gibb. P. Gibb was just trying to hang on in the early phase of this race. Just made the one mistake that allowed Herocram through. As I say that, fastest lap for P. Gibb through the first sector. He's looking to try and take away that bonus point that Herocram's got at the moment. Herocram owns every point of the round. Pole position, fastest lap on the win so far. That is a total of 23 points for the league leader. And you see Waze dropped off the back of Green P as they head into Ramus. I get the sense that Logan Greenway has decided enough is enough, and he'll wait to be lapped, so, or at least wait for the timer to count down. He will be 10th in this race. He's had a bit of a horrible race tonight, to be fair. He's not quite gone his way. He didn't have any practice beforehand, apparently. So some very tough conditions to learn. I think Snav just 2.2 away from DY House in the end. It's been a good race for him. 10 seconds remaining. Herocram through the final couple of corners. Unless something goes horribly wrong, I think he'll be your winner. So it will be Next Gen Herocram who wins at a soaking wet Red Bull Ring. Logan Greenway finishes 10th there. P. Gibb a solid second place, well deserved. And it'll be 3rd for Philo. 4th for D. Whitehouse 7. We're only 1.7 away ahead of Snav there, so Snav had a good pace at the end. Constant 2 minutes, low 2:01s. P1 Green P in 6th, Waze in 7th. Here will be Down for the Count, who comes home for 8th. And Bifter 76 in the 2020 Swan Flight car will be in 9th. DYR slid off last lap, so that's why he fell off the back of TNR Philo. Very good racing, gentlemen. That was fantastic stuff. P. Gibb, I feel quite sorry for you, really. You had a really good run. That early stage, fending off Herocram, but just that one almost incorrect line out of turn 7 and 8 cost you that win, I think. But it was a good race nonetheless. Herocram takes the full allocation of points, but it was definitely by no mean feat an easy race for Herocram. He had P. Gibb right down right on his chuff all the way through that then. So fantastic racing from the guys. Just finding out who is next. I won't say who is next. What is next up for the Focus? We do have our Christmas break. So 2 weeks of no action here in the Focus Cup. Obviously, over that period, all the streams will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and also to the official Next Gen YouTube channel, so you can relive all the first half of the season of all the leagues that are commentated. Most of them are commentated here at Next Gen, so do keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, we return, I believe, on the 8th of January. Yep, 8th of January 2021. So this is the final race on GT. It's not quite the final race of GT Sport this season, for this year, as the Sunday have the Fast R BMW M4 League. That is commentated on by CJW Racing, so do check out his Twitch channel on Sunday for that one. But Interlagos, when we return for the Focus, is 8th of January. That's when we return. But until then, from myself, everyone here, we'd like to thank the Focus Cup for sponsoring the league with that amazing prize of the league winner getting to drive an actual Focus Cup car. But from everyone here, thank you all for watching this year. Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we shall see you in 2021 for more Focus Cup action.